Thank you. Good evening, Wareham. Welcome to the Wareham Conservation Commission meeting of September 17th, 2025. The Wareham Conservation Commission will hold a meeting under Chapter 131, Section 40 of the General Laws of the Commonwealth of Massachusetts Wetland Protection Act, the Town of Wareham Wetlands Protection Bylaw, Division 6, and any other applicable laws. All hearings of the Wareham Conservation Commission are held simultaneously under the authorities of the Massachusetts Wetland Protection Act and the Town of Wareham Wetlands Protection Bylaw, Division 6. Although a single decision of the Commission is issued, it represents a separate decision under each authority. All matters listed may involve a discussion and possible vote. Roll call, please. Jessica.
Jessica Park.
Scott Sobey.
Paula Jean O'Neill.
Sandy Slavin.
Michael Mercier.
Kwame Barty.
I declare we have a quorum. Public hearing starts at 6, so please, Michael, can you read before we go in, 7 Burgess Point has asked for a continuance on December 17th. 29 Camp Street will be withdrawing, so there'll be no discussion, and Safe Harbor wants an extension, a continuance until November 19th, so we won't be taking any testimony on that project. Did I get them all? I think so. Okay, please, the first hearing.
All right. Okay, pursuant to the provisions of the Massachusetts Wetland Protection Act, General Laws, Chapter 131, Section 40, and the Wareham Wetland Protective Bylaw, Division 6, a public hearing will be held in Room 520, Wareham Multi-Service Center, 48 Marion Road, Wareham, Mass., on Wednesday, September 17th, 2025, at 6 p.m. Okay, first one. On the request for determination of applicability for Timothy Bacardi, 65 Richard Drive, Hanover, Mass., adding a garage to an existing house with living space above, foundation size 21 feet by 34 feet, map 53 by 28, 725, lot 11, 8 Adams Street in Wareham, Mass., and motion to open the hearing.
I have a motion
Second.
and a second. All in favor? Aye. Opposed, abstained. The hearing is open. Is there anybody here representing this project? In the audience, please come forward and identify yourselves.
I'm Tim Picardi, that's my wife Lynn Picardi.
Talk to us what you want to do.
I'm trying to put a garage on with a living space up above. Added on to my house. We're going to retire down here. I'm retiring from the T in November, and the plan is to move down here.
Okay, so I'm going to ask questions around. I'll start with Kwame.
Okay?
Hi, no questions, thank you.
Michael.
Same here, no questions, thank you.
Paula Jean.
The lot line, the stakes I saw said lot line on them, but I didn't see any stakes for the garage proper. I was there, I think, last Friday, on the 12th, I was there.
They're there.
They're there? Maybe they weren't there yet?
Yeah, they're all there. They were all put in there.
Okay, I just saw the big stakes.
Here's some pictures of
Okay, I trust you.
Okay.
I just was thinking that. And when I drove in and parked, there was a deep crushed stone on your driveway that looked like it was newly put there. Is that associated with the project?
No, that's been there since the
Really?
last 20
It's
years.
so loose and deep, I thought it was new. No,
It's been
okay.
It's been there a long time.
20 years at least.
Wow, okay.
Because when they did the storage and stuff, they used my property to stack everything, and then they came back and they redid but it keeps sinking down. Got to keep adding to it.
Oh, maybe it was newly added to or something then. It just seems so loose.
Yeah, no,
My
it's
little
pretty,
car was like sinking. Okay,
it's
thank
pretty
you.
deep though.
Yeah, thank you.
Yep.
Scott.
I was there today, I didn't see any stake. I saw the corner lot stakes, but not for the proposed addition. And we're pretty good about finding stakes and marked paint and so on, and I didn't see anything. I had no idea where this, well, I had some idea because I looked at the plans, but I couldn't see where the actual building was going to go because there were no stakes.
Well, this picture will show you some of the stakes that are in there.
I was there today,
Yeah,
and there
there's,
were no stakes.
the lot lines are all there, and
The
then
lot
it's just going
corners
to
are all-
continue off on the foundation.
I'm going to The lot line is different than the staking of the project. We
Okay.
like to know where this garage is going to go. And that's
Okay.
why we ask that the stakes be identified all four corners of the project. Because
Okay.
I'm looking at an open field when I went there, and, okay, I have the plans, so I can say, okay, it's going to be even to the back of the house, but
Right.
we ask that the applicants put stakes in the ground so we can know the dimension of the property. Anything else, Scott?
So
Okay.
maybe the questions for Christine. Usually the agent, when the agent talks to the applicant, will remind them, or it's in the materials anyway, right? That the,
Just added that to the online applications. So it is up there. I did see a couple of stakes back towards the fence. They were a little darker than the rest of them, so I don't know if that's
And that says
something-
lot line on it.
lines.
No, these didn't say lot line. These were just like a brown stake.
We didn't see them.
I can have them put in. I wasn't aware of that, otherwise I would have done it.
It's
gotta-
in the application materials.
Okay.
I didn't notice it. I have a professional, it's all been certified and stamped, so they can come back out and put them in.
If the-
Jess, sorry.
I'll express my opinion later. No more questions at this time.
Jessica? Christine, any comments?
No.
Anything else?
This is an RDA for land subject to coastal storm flowage. If this was in a buffer zone, I'd be a lot pickier about having stakes. The lot itself is fairly level. I don't see a big problem, honestly, with the project. I would like to have had stakes to see exactly where it is, but
So you're not going to ask for a continuance for
I'm not gonna-
stakes?
I'm not
Okay.
going to ask for continuance for stakes, because I don't think, because I'd have to go back out there again, and it wouldn't tell me very much.
Is there any comment online or the audience regarding this project? I'm seeing none and hearing none.
Motion to close the hearing.
I have a motion to close the hearing.
Second.
And a second. All in favor? Aye. Opposed, abstained, 600. The hearing is closed. Christine, your recommendation?
-2, -6.
-2 and a -6.
Okay, so moved.
I have a motion, and I
Second.
heard a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, abstain. You have your project. Please see Christine before you start any work,
Okay,
because you're going to have to get some paperwork.
sure.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
And enjoy retirement.
Thank you very much.
All right,
Next, please.
okay. Oops, a second here. All right, on the request for determination of applicability for Rachel Rogers, P.O. Box 786, Onset, Mass. 02558, construction of a screen porch attached to an existing cottage, map 13, lot 1031, AA, 17 Nephi Road, Onset, Mass. And motion to open the hearing?
Motion. And I
Second.
second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, abstained.
Abstain?
You're abstaining and you're leaving.
Yes, I am. This is a close relative of mine, and I would prefer not to be here for this.
And it's also your neighbor, your back door. Okay, so let it be known at 6:09, Scott left the table. Is there anybody here to represent the project? Online or in the audience?
Hold on, this one person just raised his hand, I think. Did you raise your hand, sir?
Wait a minute, John, someone's online?
I have Rachel Rogers online.
Yes, please let Rachel in.
Maybe not.
Hi. And please identify yourself for the record.
My name is Rachel. This is my husband, Keith. We're zooming in from Ireland.
And your last name is,
Rogers.
and good morning over there. Okay, talk to us about the project, please.
Yes, so our architect, Bill Lockwood, is also, I believe he was phoning in, or I'm not sure if he's also on Zoom. I've been texting with him. I think he might have phoned in.
John, do you find Law?
I do not know. They just raised their hand.
Okay,
I want them to-
please let him
Is he
in.
there? Oh, there he is. Okay.
On mute. Hello, Bill Lockwood, Lockwood Architects here.
Thank you. Okay,
Before-
Bill, talk to us about the project, please.
Sure. The project, you've heard the address. It's to build a screen porch on two sides of the existing cottage on the easterly and northerly sides. We'll be putting a couple of, probably a dozen piers in the ground to hold it up. It'll be attached to the existing cottage. We are in the coastal flow zone. Don't have any other resource areas that we're concerned with. What else?
Outdoor shower?
And an outdoor shower, yes, which will go into a stone pit or.
All right, and it's my understanding the plants have all been moved, right?
Yes.
My understanding is they have, yeah. I'm in Texas, so I don't know.
You're in Texas, you're in Ireland. Rachel, plants have been moved, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I'm going to ask the questions. Kwame,
Oh, no questions at this time, thanks.
Michael,
Sandy already started to imply what I was about to ask here. Has work already begun? Because I was there yesterday, and looks like plants are already being removed, and some other activity is, well, looks like it was
It
already
was just,
started.
it's literally just the landscaping being moved because I wanted my hydrangeas to be saved, so we moved them to the other side of our cottage.
All right, thank you.
Paula Jean,
No questions, thank you.
Jessica. No questions, thank you. Christine, comments?
No.
Anybody in the audience or online would like to comment on this project? I'm seeing none. No more? Okay.
Motion to close the hearing.
I have a motion to close the hearing.
Second.
And a second. All in favor? Aye. Opposed, abstained, 500. The hearing is closed. Christine, your recommendation.
-2, -6.
All right, so moved.
Second.
Have the motion in a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, abstained, it's 500. Rachel, the project has been approved, and Bill, don't start anything until you get your paperwork from the conservation agent, all right? Thank you.
Absolutely, thank you so much. Have a
Enjoy
good
Thank you
evening.
so much.
Enjoy Texas, enjoy Ireland.
Thank you. Thanks for your
Bye.
time. Bye.
Good night.
Scott, you can come back. Scott Sobey returned at 6:13. Thank you. All right, next, please.
Okay. On the request for determination of applicability for Andrew Goodrow, 22 Pinehurst Drive, Wareham, Mass. 02571, proposing a replacement of an existing deteriorating deck with an extension of approximately 5 feet wide above a pre-existing disturbed earth. A floating deck with permeable surface would be built underneath the footprint of the deck. Map 46A, 1, lots 11, 87, 244, 22 Pinehurst Drive, Wareham, Mass. And motion to open the hearing?
I have a motion. A second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, abstained. The hearing is open. Anybody here wanting to speak representing this project, please come forward.
Oh, Madam Chair, it's Albert Goodrow, not Andrew.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, no worries.
Thank you for pointing
Yep.
that out.
Have a seat and identify yourselves.
I'm Al Goodrow. I'm the owner of 22 Pinehurst. This is my in-house mechanical engineer. who at one point was a building inspector in, where was it?
Will you be
Sandwich.
giving testimony?
In Sandwich.
Will you be making comments?
Yes, I'm going
May I
to.
have your name, please?
My name is Stan, last name is Tetke.
Spell it.
Tettke.
All right, now talk to us about this project that you haven't already started.
Okay.
We have already
I
started.
know.
Nobody is trying to
I
hide anything, please.
have pictures and I have plans.
Okay, talk to us about what you want to do. We have plans, we got them online.
Okay. We purchased a place in October of last year. And then we bought it because it was on the market, it was on the water, and things like that just vanished. So anyway, we bought it. And we really didn't move in until April. We got back in April, and it was like a bad dream. The walls had caved a little bit in on the on the walkway going down to the rear of the house. The existing deck, we realized, was framed incorrectly, parallel joists with the house rather than the typical framing that goes perpendicular to the house. The deck, under the deck was a patio, I guess, that was put down by the previous owner, and it was like this, buckled up.
Concrete, by the way.
Yeah. And so I've got a bunch of kids, 6 daughters and all the 12 grandchildren from them. My wife is handicapped, and she hasn't been to the back of the house until recently, probably 3 weeks ago. The kids couldn't go back there until we straightened some of this out, which we did. The deck has got to be replaced, and we were advised by the building inspector and a couple of other people that replacing this deck, because it's framed wrong and it's not
aged.
steady, that
It's
kind
aged.
of thing. It's supported by sonotubes that go this far into the ground, that kind of thing. So it's got to be done, and it's 10 out, which is the limit, and it's
12
12
wide.
wide, and we want to go another 4 feet and make it a reasonably, you know, it's not, we were told because the house is 1930 and grandfathered non-conforming, that as long as we didn't exceed the footprint of the house, we were okay.
Okay, Al, before we start, I want you to tell me everything that you have done. Tell me what you have done at this site without a permit.
We took up the pit that you saw, the fire pit, and all the junk that was buried under it.
When was, I'm sorry, the fire pit?
There's a fire pit on the
Used to be-
site
it's on the
plan.
On the
plan.
site plan.
All you have to
But
do
it's
is
not
look at the
there.
site plan. It shows you exactly
Okay.
what was there.
So it was put in by a previous owner.
Yes.
So you removed the fire pit. What else did you do on the site?
Can I show you some pictures? I'll give you some pictures to
Well,
look at.
you need to talk to us about what you've done.
Well, okay, if you can see it from there, where the fire pit used to be, this is now. And if you look at it closer, you're going to be able to see that the walkway now, that's been,
Okay, when I was there, when did that grass grow?
It's sod.
it grew somewhere else. It's sod. We put it
So what
down.
was there? The fire pit was there.
Fire pit was there.
So you removed
parts-
the fire pit.
Parts of the fire pit.
You removed the fire pit, so you
Right.
had a field of nothing but
Right.
dirt, then you put in
That's right,
sod.
but.
Okay, sod without permit, okay.
Okay,
What
hang
else
on.
did you do?
Hang on a second. This fire pit was 4 inches above the height of the walkway. So now, what we've done is we've created the ability for all the water, rainwater that comes down, to only be able to go on the
Okay.
grass.
What else have you done without a permit at that site?
Anything we've done hasn't had a permit.
I know, I want you to tell us what you've
Okay, I
done.
pulled up the concrete that was under the deck. That was a safety issue. And what was ever below it is compacted,
okay.
whatever, dirt, that's
All
still
right,
there.
what else have you done? How about all the stairs?
We changed the slide wait a minute, we changed the slide that you would go, if there was any ice on it, you'd end up in the water, okay? 30-degree angle, and we ripped that out
What
of
did-
there.
so what
and
did you
put
rem- what did you-
concrete stairs in there.
Okay, what did you
So that
remove?
she, the handicap, can get down to the
What
back.
did you remove? What was there before?
Pavers,
Pavers. You removed pavers.
right. Most broken, but some not. We
And then
also
you installed-
removed-
sorry.
We also removed the collapsed earth that was on it.
Removed the pavers, and then you put in concrete steps,
Yep.
and you put in did you put on walls on each side of the steps?
Walls were already there.
So
They're on the
those
plan.
those walls were already there.
Right.
Those,
We
on-
made them better than they were
But
because
you
they weren't
touched them.
doing
They were
anything.
replaced.
thank you, the walls
The
were
word
replaced.
Is they were replaced. The walls that were there, they were replaced with the new stairs because they were in such poor condition.
I'm trying to think, okay, now I'm going to ask, now that I have an idea of what has been altered at that site, I'm going to ask around. Jessica, your questions? No questions. Scott?
So you're proposing to add 5 feet to this, I'm not sure what a floating deck is.
4 foot, Scott, on the deck that's attached to the house. It's 12. We want to create a 16-foot width.
Okay.
Just adding a few feet on.
By floating deck, do you mean
I'm not
cantilevered?
securing it to the ground. It's
Not
going to
securing
be
to the-
sit on pads that are basically sitting within gravel, pea stone that will cover. So they're going to be basically a deck that's not secured. Not secured.
Well, I'm not supposed to go to a building code, so I won't.
Well,
Guess
no-
what?
I mean, how do you,
Guess what? I don't want to frighten you, but
How
there's
do you
no
put a
building
deck
code.
without securing
There's no
it?
building code for a floating deck. Anybody can do whatever you want. We're doing something that we feel is superior.
That would be for the building inspector, but
but wait a minute, the deck, it has to be secured to the ground. I'm not talking what's going to be placed on the...
Can I use the name Sandy?
I'm not
Can I
talking
use your
about the
first
upper
name?
deck. He's talking about what's going to
I know,
go
but-
with that
We're
concrete.
talking about a floating deck that's beneath the existing deck. The existing deck is should I say this from a previous building inspector's position? It should be condemned, okay? Okay.
You need a new deck, you're going to make it
And
16 foot wide.
and we went to Paul.
Okay.
Let me tell you a little bit of a quick story. We went to Paul Turner, and I presented plans, and I presented the site plan, and I marked up in red that we wanted to increase 4 feet onto the deck. And he told me naturally that we would have to come to you. And we did not decide at that time what we were going to propose to do. So nothing happened for a bit until, I believe, we finally decided, yes, we'd like to do a 16-foot wide deck. And unfortunately, the beneath area had already been removed because it was in such poor condition. Nothing has touched the wooden deck that's there. It's still existing just the way it is. So, staircase needed to be replaced, and unfortunately, I just want everyone to understand, unfortunately, a general contractor, New England Services, who came out to look at the property because there's planned expansion to the front of the property, and that's why I was involved, not to put a deck on the back of the property, but there's a planned expansion to the front. He came out as a site individual doing site construction, looked at the back area, looked at the walkway down, and he just said, this is horrible, absolutely horrible. You should do something immediately. And being misled, believe me, and I was a building inspector in Sandwich, being misled, he said, you don't need a permit to do what we're doing
And
here.
who was this person who felt
New
you didn't
England
need a...
Services, his name is Jim Hoban.
And where is he out of?
He's out of Kingston. He does major work here on the Cape.
I don't
And it's
think,
unfortunate.
I'm
Madam Chair,
sorry.
I don't, this is
No, but-
hearsay.
No.
But I'm
I'm just telling you that it's unfortunate that it was expressed.
well, it's the homeowner's responsibility
Yes.
regardless. But Scott, your question was, talk to you about what is a floating
It's a
dock,
floating deck.
a deck?
A floating deck
What
is
is
a
a
deck
floating
that's
deck?
not secured as a traditional deck is to the property.
We're talking about the wooden deck that goes over the top, or
It could be a wooden deck, it could be a synthetic material deck, it's whatever you want to make. But it's basically got, if you will, I'll use the term sleepers, that you can lay on a bed of, in this case, we're going to use stone, and you basically have a deck that is not secured to the property, but sitting on the ground.
okay, well, that's going to be between you and the building department.
I know.
But where we come in is whether there's going to be excavation or not. And it doesn't sound to me like your plan includes
There's
excavation.
no excavation.
Well,
The excavation, unfortunately or fortunately, has been done with the removal of a deteriorated concrete, and I don't believe this board is in favor of having much concrete on any property, period.
well, the areas,
And I'm
I
not-
wouldn't assume that, but
Okay.
this area is already disturbed. My feeling is that there's going to have to be at least 4-footers under,
Absolutely. And I would consider that in discussion as somebody with regards to building that's minimal.
that is minimal. You have them in the plans for the stairway, but I believe you're also going to have them, you're going to, that it's going to be required to have them also for the deck,
Absolutely. That's the deck above,
the deck above.
but not the deck that is called a floating deck.
So can we call that a patio instead of a floating deck?
If you'd like to.
Let's call it a
floating patio.
Then we can understand what we're talking about.
Okay, all right. It is, yes. Floating deck is a term that is absolutely legitimate. It's not something I made up.
Well, it's new to me. So I just want to make sure that we're on the same page.
Sure.
So there's going to be excavation because you're going to have footings for your stairs, you're going to have footings for the posts.
We're going to be putting in sonotubes, as you would be for a traditional deck, and that's going to be for the deck above.
Right, and so there's going to be excavation.
Some, minimal, but the surface area that's beneath the deck now that's been stripped of concrete, it's going to be groomed with stone.
I get it,
Okay,
so
that's,
the point
I'm trying to make a point that we're doing minimal disturbance, that's all.
And the point I'll make is that there's going to have to be erosion controls. That's the only place I was going.
Yes.
Okay. What about the hot tub? Was that there previously? Or did you add that?
That's what we said when we moved in. What the hell is this? What about the red thing on the other side of the house? There's a sauna outside.
Do you people have
That's
you
all
have a
part
copy
of,
of the
it's all
site
on the
plan?
plan.
There's a site plan here.
I'm looking at the hot tub on the site plan. I was looking at it today when I was on the property.
Oh, good.
So is that something you also added when you purchased the property?
No. Site plan was done first month of this new year, and
Certified plot.
it's a certified plot plan.
Okay.
And that, everything you see on that plan was there that way. Can I refresh everybody with a copy of
We're
the
looking,
site?
we've got it online.
Online, thank you, though.
Yeah.
So yes, there was work done, not intentionally to, if you will, look for doing something illegal, but on the other hand, the whole goal is to replace this deteriorating deck and give them more living area down below.
Yeah.
The staircase down, yes, it's new, but what was there, even my own self coming, and I didn't know it was taking place, but I came there for a 4th of July party, if you will, celebration. And I'm not exactly the most agile person in the world. To make it down an existing staircase that was there, the stairs, whatever you want to call them, it was horrific. So,
No more questions, Madam Chair.
Thank you. Paula Jean?
Scott pretty much covered the things I was concerned about. So you did not move you did take out the fire pit, the hot tub is still there, the sauna is still there, correct? And the patio in between next to where, adjacent to where the fire pit was, is there still. I was there last Friday and did look at the property, so I've got a pretty
Excuse me,
good.
those things are not part of the future of the place.
Right.
Put the addition in, then we have the ability to get that sauna thing out of there.
Yeah.
I don't even understand.
Whatever order you do
the
it
whole
in.
goal is to
Sure.
put an addition to the front of the property,
Right.
which should not be a difficult item once,
But it
Once
is
we
in the
get this-
50-foot buffer to the river,
yes.
which is our biggest issue. No other questions, thank you.
Michael?
My issues have already been addressed. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Kwame?
Yeah, so what kind of erosion controls are you using? This is a quiz. What type of erosion controls are you using?
I had, based on what took place, and I realized that this has all been done, and now realizing that also at the time that it was something that needed to be permitted, I had Mr. Goodrow put in sod immediately to finish the property off, finish off the old pit that was taken care of. So the erosion control is simply the sod that's been put in. Now, we do have an individual that unfortunately haven't had to use them, but we have an environmental that has joined on to the staff, and I called him in a total panic the other day, and Brad Holmes. I said, good Lord, all this stuff has been done, and what else can we do to ensure erosion control? So he offered a couple of other ideas, and I'm here in front of you tonight to say, okay, give me a suggestion, or give us a suggestion to what you would like to have for additional erosion control. Sod is a great item, and I discussed this floating deck, thinking that putting in pea stone and gravel in that area below would be better than having the concrete pad that was in horrible condition. Only did it with the idea that it was going to improve when we got a permit to replace the deck. So a couple of things did get done out of space and out of procedure, but it was not intentional to bring penalties to this project. So if a suggestion can be made, or if we need to bring Brad in to further discuss erosion, I'd be more than happy.
I have a question. The space behind the wall where you have the high deck over it, that's going to be 16 feet going to the stairs, that will all be gravel?
I believe
You're going to put gravel there, right?
the wall is gravelled now to
So
the,
where you have dirt underneath your
yes,
high
yes,
deck,
yes.
I'm going to call it the tall deck.
yes, okay.
That will all be gravel underneath it?
There'll be gravel under the floating deck.
What will the rest of the
It'll be
wall-
gravel underneath, and the deck will be above it.
It's like a patio deck.
So it will be gravel going up to the stairs?
Gravel will be going up to,
The whole section will be
it'll be
gravel?
gravelled, but on top of the gravel is going to be this floating
May
deck.
I ask a question? How will you, what, is it AE? What zone are they in?
I believe it might be a VE.
Velocity zone? How are you going to maintain that floating deck when you have a hurricane and you have high water?
It'll be pinned to the ground,
Oh, so it will be attached to the ground.
yes.
Will it be able to withstand a storm surge?
It certainly will be able to.
There's also going to
It
be
is
cut
AE
around the
zone.
framing from the deck in the top of the
It won't take much to break it apart and be able to get around the post. Jessica, you had something?
I just wonder how it gets pinned. What is the,
Would be simply similar to what we would use to secure a tent. You'd use an eye bolt driven into the ground at an angle, and you could secure it.
No cement or anything like that, just hopefully your angle is correct so it doesn't slide out, because I know I'm not comfortable with a floating deck. I really am not in a velocity zone.
Sorry, it's actually an AE zone. It is.
An AE zone?
Yeah, it's an AE
It's
zone.
still, that can be nasty in there when a storm comes in,
And if
up
you-
from the east.
Where do you think, out of curiosity, if a deck was to lift from the ground like that with another deck above it, where would it go? I'm just
It would-
throwing this out as
To
a...
me, it would go out into the water, out into the bay.
Huh.
I would think of the possibility of it breaking apart in high waves, because it's made out of wood, correct?
Sure.
It could break apart, and that would, I don't know if anybody was around, I was for Donna and Carol, it was nasty out here, everything floated away and ended up into the water, causing more damage as it had a debris. Anyway, I'm not comfortable with a floating deck.
Let me throw this out. Would you be more comfortable with a concrete patio under there?
I wouldn't go for a concrete, but I would be comfortable with something that is a brick that allows for permeable brick.
There are a lot of alternatives. So, for example, you could have small preformed concrete pylons that'd still be floating with Simpson ties to your decking, and that would handle the chair's concerns.
Well, let me do this. I work with structural engineers all the time. Since if this moves forward and we can replace the deck, and hopefully at some point in time we can agree that 4 feet of added deck is not going to be something that's detrimental to this particular structure, or, if you will, against any conditions that are now present, I can secure this deck to the sonotubes that we're going to be putting in place. So I can secure the floating deck, and it now becomes a non-floating deck. We're going to have sonotubes across the front at each point at 16 feet, one in the middle at 8 feet, and that'll be 3 tie points. And then there will be a sonotube now, or if you will, a tie to the existing foundation of the house, and at the other side by the staircase, behind the staircase, so we can tie this deck.
Thank you. Christine, any comments?
I've already went out there at first to discuss it with his wife, and it didn't seem to be an issue to me. With the floating decks, they do they're not, I know somebody was a little bit confused about what they are. They kind of essentially just on the ground. Like, you've actually seen them before at a couple of other sites. But I don't think that it would be too bad of an issue if you did secure it properly.
Okay. Is there anybody online or in the audience like to comment on this project? Any other discussion within the committee, commission, whatever we're called? Any other discussion?
I'm just questioning whether the increase, even though it's 4 feet, it's in the 50-foot buffer zone, and to be consistent with things we've done in the past, I thought we didn't allow anything else.
It was already disturbed.
Yeah, because it's disturbed.
Because, yes,
Okay.
it
That's
was
just
not as
have a
if we're...
concern.
Yes, so
Okay.
they get a buy on that one, because it's already
Lily,
disturbed.
my suggestion is when we move on this project, that we have a $200 fine for the new steps, walkway, $200 fine for the excavation that was begun without permit, because I think we would have permitted that. And a $200 fine for putting the sod in without permit. So for those 3 items, and I think we would probably have permitted that as well, although I'm not sure about the sod, but anyway, so $200 for the steps, walkway, $200 for the excavation that's already been done without permit, and $200 for sod without permit.
Sod to replace the burn pit, the
Yeah, whatever was
fire
there.
pit.
Can I just ask about the sod? I mean, what kind of grass it is? I'm concerned that it is not going to need a high nitrogen fertilizer or anything like that close to the water.
Well, I was going to ask, basically all of you, we didn't know what we were going to do, other than roll sod out, water it, and hopefully it takes. Pretty good stuff that came from West Bridgewater. What would you use, if you used anything?
What's a recommendation from the board, or can you not
I
recommend?
tried to find it online, I couldn't find it. Most of them.
There are lots of native plants that you would basically want to stabilize that so that you don't have a dirt area that's going to erode. So there are many types of plants that will do that, and types of grasses, native grasses, hardy grasses that don't need a lot of fussy care or fertilizer. Just the sod, I mean, sod runs the gamut. When I think of sod, I picture like a golf course, and they're beautiful green, but that does require a lot of nitrogen, and we don't want to have that near the water.
Should we consult Brad, somebody that probably has a little better idea of what we have done wrong to do
I'm
right?
sure you want an easy play area that isn't dirt, that isn't a plant or something like that. Well, we're just looking for something that doesn't require a high amount of nitrogen to maintain its greenness, which this looks like it possibly could.
Not to be humorous, but he's not one to care about the greenery.
It's either gonna grow, it's either gonna take or it's gonna die, but that's, it's gonna be unrolled, and then we'll do something.
So what are you doing in the front of the property? Didn't you grass that?
We threw loam, which we did back here, and grass seed, and that's a mess.
No, yeah,
It's
it's meant to.
landscaped with beautiful flowers, that's all I can tell
Yes,
you.
but it's that type of thing that we were hoping that what you've done by replacing the fire pit, you would throw seed out just like you did at the front of the property, as opposed to bringing in sod.
Well, I just wanted the thing to look.
What,
good.
wait. I know, but I can't have you speak back here. You've got to come up and address us on the microphone. So, okay. Christine,
Let me
any
ask you
comments?
this, just real quick. Say this stuff dies, and I say, Stan, where can you buy this turf they play football on?
AstroTurf?
AstroTurf. Ever have that come into the play anywhere?
Come back and see us
Yeah,
And I
right.
before you do anything.
I
Yeah.
mentioned to Brad, because back in the days, 30 years ago, I was with Sandwich. And I understand that Ted Miziazik, which is a very difficult name to repeat 20 times, was a building inspector here. And I, if you will, learned from him and with him with regards to my perspective of work. But we were experimenting with, of all things, peat moss, and finding that peat moss from the health department was a phenomenal item to use for filtering. I don't know where it went, because I never stayed long enough to see
I
the
don't
results.
think it would be too happy with all the salt.
Is that
Or
the case?
12 grandkids.
Well,
that
no,
the
I mean, but the issue, we could condition that if this sod dies, we would approve the installation of turf, of AstroTurf.
We'd want to look at it, though, and make sure it's
Yeah.
pervious and
Pervious,
so on.
because is it like a plastic sheet?
Okay, so if it happens, you have to come back to us.
Yeah.
Christine, any comments, any more comments? You've been out there, you've talked to the homeowner.
No, I don't have any additional.
Okay. Anything else from the board? Commission? I don't know the difference anyway.
We're not bored.
I know you're not bored. But you're not bored. Never mind. Anything else? If not,
Did a lady want to come up and address us, or? Ma'am, did you want to come and address us?
you'd have to come up. Up to the
Just come up to the-
microphone.
Hi, my name is Laurie Goodrow. I live at 22 Pinehurst Drive, and I'm Al's wife. When you were talking about the sod, I was just going to say, maybe we could plant plants that you would suggest that would absorb the water, or whatever you want to do, whatever you think should be done there.
But if you put plants in, you gotta weed it, you gotta watch the plants, and that type of thing. To me, that's a lot more work than just letting the sod go. Would give it a shot. If it fails, come back to us.
Isn't sod in itself a pretty good filter?
Yes, but we're concerned about the nitrogen needed to keep it green.
I see.
That is what we're trying to
And
watch over.
I spent a tremendous amount of time looking at different lumbers to use something in this deck, both up above and down below, that was the absolute peak best that you could use to do absolutely no harm whatsoever to the
Okay.
land, people, and our environment. So
Okay.
I can tell you that much was done, all right? But unfortunately, tonight, it's not that important, so.
One more thing. Sorry to keep bothering you. This obviously is a temporary something. I don't even know.
Yeah,
I
that
picked
is,
it up and I
that's a
couldn't-
wattle, so
Okay.
that is a wattle, so that
Okay.
is your erosion control.
Okay, you peel this up, it's sitting on a wall.
Uh-huh.
So if I used edging, 4-inch edging around that between the wall and the grass,
Okay,
that slows something down.
we'll get, when this is permitted, we will ask you to speak to the conservation agent about the specific erosion control that you need to put in.
Okay.
Good.
Okay? So anybody else? Anybody want to are we going to close the hearing? I have a motion to close the hearing in a second. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Okay. We've closed the hearing. Christine, your recommendations?
-3, -6 with the erosion controls around the limit of work, letting the sod just take, and if it doesn't, they can come back. And the $200 fines that Scott suggested,
600.
$600 fines that Scott suggested.
So moved.
No? Anybody else? Okay, I heard a motion.
Second.
And a second, all in favor? Aye. Opposed, abstained. So that's a $600 fine for the sod, the steps, and and removing the concrete underneath the existing patio. And we talked about, can we put in the motion after the fact that this floating dock is to be secured to the pylon?
The sonotubes, to the
Sonotubes,
framing.
thank you, to the
Yeah.
frame.
It's a good idea, especially with the concern that you just had with regards to a hurricane.
I've been out, okay, 70 years ago, I used to go to that cottage because it was the best friend of my grandmother, so I know that place, so, a long time ago.
Let me ask you another question, because a resident that's been living, I don't know what her name is, she's down all the time talking to my wife. She said before they did that sewer thing,
Yep,
before they did the sewer thing, we had a sandy beach here. Is she for real?
sewer had nothing to do with your sewer line doesn't go in the beach. The sewer line goes down the road.
The sewer line comes down and goes in the water, and the sewer
Manhole.
access manhole is held, the cap is held in place with somebody's lawn ornament.
Interesting. Isn't that C Street? I thought we did.
You talking about a storm sewer or a sanitary sewer?
I'm not sure.
Let's move
All
on.
I know is the same girl.
Okay, we're going to move on.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Did we vote?
Yes, we voted.
Thank you. You have the project. See Christine about your erosion control and all the paperwork you need to complete the project. Thank you.
Great, thank you.
Next, please.
All right. The request for notice of intent for Andrea Jerbeck, 208 South Great Neck Road, South Great Road, rather, Lincoln, Mass. 02740, for invasive plant management to control invasive vegetation across approximately 20 acres of former cranberry bog and Tidal Creek Marsh, map Map 57, Lot 100402, 0 Shady Lane in Wareham, Mass. And I believe that's going to be continued till October 15th. Is that correct, Christine?
Yes.
Okay. So a motion to continue till October 15th?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
It was continued last meeting, wasn't it?
I don't think so. It's,
No, okay, so it's continued. Okay, so it goes under this continued pile. Next, please.
okay. On the request for notice of intent for Roy, I mispronounced this one, my apologies, Cantanani, 110 State Road, Suite 7, Sagamore Beach, Massachusetts, 02571. For the,
I'm confused.
Here for safe harbor.
I thought this Conserve Group, 6 Recovery
Recovery
Road.
it came up under the name, there was a name, I think the advertisement said Roy Cantanini, but if it's Conservation Group, then it's Conservation Group, I guess. Okay, then we'll just call it the Conservation Group then. 110 State Road, Suite 7, Sagamore Beach, Massachusetts, 02571. For the construction of 2 commercial buildings with associated parking lot, access drives, stormwater management system. The project is located within the buffer zone to bordering vegetative wetland. Map 108, Lot 1018, A1, 6 Recovery Road, Wareham, Mass. And motion to open the hearing.
I have a motion.
Second.
So I see I see the confusion. The agenda calls it one thing, the public hearing, notice it calls it a different name. Do we have an issue?
No.
Point of order, we have a motion, a seconded motion.
I thought I voted. No, okay, I had a motion to open the hearing. I heard a second, all in favor.
Aye.
Okay, we have an issue. I don't know whether or not if our public notice had one name on it versus the name in the agenda, even though the addresses are the same.
Yeah, I don't have a copy of the agenda in front of me, but, I saw the public notice in the Wareham Week, and we notified the abutters as, which I
Okay,
have a copy of.
then fine.
So,
Then please identify yourself.
sure, so Bob Rogers, GAF Engineering, on behalf of the applicant. So this is just under 1 acre parcel of land, industrial zoned, on Recovery Road, Recovery Lane, Recovery Road. Some of the commissioners might remember this property received an order of conditions and a site plan approval back in 2017 for Coastal Orthodontics, the current owner of the land. And so at that time, it was a building in the center of the property and 2 parking lots and a very similar drainage system to this. So what I highlighted on the board there is the wetland line, which is on the abutter's property, the parent property for this lot. So we'd reflagged that line in the field, and then I just put a red highlight on the 50-foot no activity zone for commercial properties. So it's we're pretty challenged for space on this lot. We're trying to, make it as usable and valuable as possible for an industrial zoned piece of property. But it's offices on one side, and this acoustic is the planned tenant on the right side. But for the purposes of conservation, it's a very similar, and I apologize, this is the thickest lot. If you went out there, it's almost impenetrable right now from Recovery Road. But we did flag the wetlands. I asked our surveyor to just put a bean pole on either side of the property line. I know there's a bean pole at the center of the drive, and I asked him to do the front corners of the building, and a few flags hung on that limit of work line. But you have to kind of go along that town-owned property and come in from the back if you want to see anything, really. But
Isn't there a gully between the back property and this property, a depression?
Yeah,
So
yes.
it's a little hard to
That
walk.
is-
Right,
Yeah.
right.
Okay.
And I didn't bring my machete with me.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's always good to have
Christine,
one
have
in
you
your vehicle.
verified the wetland markers?
I wasn't able to get that far back. It's very dense in there, but you can see it on the aerials.
Okay, you're comfortable with that
Yeah.
marking? Okay, thank you.
We included Brad Holmes' original delineation report with this notice of intent. So for conservation issues, we've got, we're basically capturing all of the drainage from the developed site and putting both the roof runoff and the parking lot runoff either into the ground or into those two shallow depressions. I think we've got them specified as rain gardens. So the only runoff, it'd be a somewhat substantial reduction in runoff downgrade to the wetland system. I mean, it is good soils and it is heavily vegetated now, so there's not much at all going down into that wetland system. But it will match or be a slight reduction in the future, and we do have water quality structures specified prior to the infiltration. So we're currently before Planning Board. We've had one hearing. We have a continued public hearing coming up on Monday, the 22nd. And so I would answer any questions that anyone has, but I'll be asking for a continuance to the second meeting in October.
Christine, my question for you is that all the plantings and lighting are outside the 100-foot wetland buffer zone? Is that outside of our privy?
Yes, so if we don't, because there's no flood zone over there.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, I see the 100-foot buffer zone kind of going through the middle of the property.
All right, questions? Jessica?
No questions.
Scott?
You know, people keep talking about a 30-foot no activity zone or a 50-foot no activity zone, and I think that's pretty clear. You're not supposed to do anything in those areas. But the bylaws and the law actually talk about the 100-foot buffer zone. And I understand this is a narrow piece of property. The reason that the law and the bylaws state, and I'm not, you know this already, Bob, stipulate these distances is because that is what by science has been determined is what is necessary for the health of the wetlands. And we continuously see projects that respect the 50 or 30-foot no activity zone, as they should, but ignore the 100-foot buffer zone to the wetlands or to whatever the resource area is. Now, you have a large parking, well, a medium-sized parking area, and I haven't had a chance to read all of the notes. Is that an asphalt?
Correct. Yep.
So that's an asphalted parking area within, most of it is within the 100-foot wetlands buffer zone. You also have two buildings. I assume those are going to be industrial-type buildings with flat roofs and so on. I don't see any construction plans here.
Correct. Those will be submitted through the planning board, the plans for the buildings.
Right, so there's a lot of, and I know you have a drainage plan here, but it seems to me that we are not exercising as we should the protection of the wetlands when we are allowing within 100 feet of the wetlands for buildings like this. And I know that for the property owner, that's tough because it's a narrow piece of land. It falls within the wetlands buffer zone. And there's not a whole lot you can do with a 30-foot strip of land for a commercial.
You couldn't do anything with a 30-foot strip of land.
Yeah, you
in
can't do
industrial
anything.
zone.
You can have a hallway.
So, yeah, so I would push back a little bit on,
Sure.
we're certainly not ignoring the 100-foot buffer zone. We wouldn't be here if we were ignoring, I know the people who do ignore the 100-foot buffer zone get in trouble and they get fined and so forth, but I think when we look at performance standards for the BVW and in the buffer zone, so compliance with the DEP stormwater management standards and compliance with the town of Wareham's stormwater management bylaw provides there's a presumption of protection for groundwater and protection for resource areas. The town has a master plan, the town has zoning, and so in an industrial zone, the town wants industrial growth and activity and jobs and revenue. We can still do all that and protect this wetland system. And then, of course, other areas of town designated as open space, there's conservation land acquisition, and so it's a balance. I understand your role, 100%, protect the resource area, make sure that this project does not impact it, and I think we've satisfied the town in the past, and we feel like we can satisfy the various boards with this project, the way it's presented.
Anything else?
I'm not sure I asked a question in there. That's mostly editorializing, I guess.
You did ask about pavement.
Oh, yeah, the pavement, there you go. So there's going to be a lot of impervious structure, both pavement and the roof structures and so on. And, I mean, you're a well-respected engineer. You've made planning for the drainage issues off of those. And I just worry, and I know that the town has designated this area as industrial zone, so in some ways we have a little bit of a conflict between the two parts of the town, those that have different kinds of agendas. Is there any way to make a parking structure that's that close to the no activity zone that is not asphalt or concrete?
So we wouldn't propose that in this case, and it would not necessarily be of benefit. Collection and treatment and infiltration of the runoff, and then having the soil take that in, to me, is a better situation than a pervious parking lot in a industrial commercial setting where you're going to get the vehicle drips and so forth. It's going to infiltrate on its own. Years ago, I kind of argued that the no activity zone might be backwards in Wareham, that you have a commercial piece of property that's subject to a 50-foot no activity zone, but nobody's there at night, nobody's there on the weekends unless the business is open on a Saturday. It's not 24/7. There's not going to be, once this is built with that retaining wall in the back, there's absolutely no potential for encroachment. It's not going to be 5 years later, a shed's over here and the 30-foot buffer has been disrespected. So that's, I think we're doing as much as we can on this lot for the benefit of not just the landowner, but for employment and again, consistent with Wareham's zoning. And so, I don't know, I guess I'll just leave it at that for now, because I'll be back in a month.
I appreciate those points, Bob, and I think they're good ones as well. So thanks for pushing back a little.
It's kind of a habit of mine.
Yes, mine too.
But
Paula Jean.
So I went there, and it is very dense, bushy, crawling with everything, full of wildlife, perfect wildlife habitat next to the wetland area. Mm-hmm. And you take that and pave a good portion of it and put buildings up, and you're changing life for a lot of, whether it's insects that the birds eat, birds don't eat, they die. The rabbits, everything that's in there. And wildlife is mentioned in the bylaw as one of the things we take into consideration. And as we have an industrial zone and it gets more industrial and more, scorched earth is what I call it. We humans need these places for all our industry. But just the same, I just was kind of sad to see that being turned from a place full of life to one more, just the opposite. And one question I do have is, and I know you don't know right now perhaps, but I think, what is going to be in those buildings? Do you have any clue what it would be?
Well, yes, yeah, so it's allowed uses in the industrial
Oh, yeah,
zone, it's
right.
office, and the company Acoustec, they manufacture soundproofing panels.
Okay.
So
I
it's a-
first read the
it's-
orthodontics, the other name, and I thought, oh, good,
Right.
people will go there, get their teeth worked on.
That
and
was his-
leave. At
that was
least
the
there'll be
original
no cans of who knows what sitting around to spill, or, all the type of things that happen in industrial settings.
Yeah.
And then tonight I found out, whoops, no, it is going to be an industrial setting.
Right, consistent with the zone, but, I guess, so there is medical offices right across the street, but, you go down Kendrick Road, you go down into Kendrick
Oh, I
Road,
know,
and
it's
those
everywhere.
are all the traditional industrial
Right, I know.
businesses which have their uses,
This
their
isn't
purposes.
the only one. But, to follow up with what Scott was saying about the 100-foot zone, it's not just the stormwater. It's what's living there now, the trees that help us have oxygen, the animals that live there, insects that live there, whatever's there is going to be totally wiped out right close to the wetland, and a good portion of it in the 100-foot buffer zone. So, it just doesn't feel like that's the type of thing we like to be conditioning again and again and again.
Well, I think you issue conditions to protect the resource area, and so we can have a disagreement about what's
Yeah.
being put within the buffer zone, but at the end of the day, I think we can agree that it's not going to have an impact on the wetland system. Of course, it's taking space where there are currently a million saplings and all that, but if you meet the performance standards, there's a presumption that you're going to be issued an order of conditions, and you have the ability to issue special conditions to provide additional protection if you see fit.
Yeah, it's just, I'm thinking, where and when do we get to protect common species of plants and wildlife?
Like you've done in the past, you buy the land. You buy the land and you permanently protect it.
But that's all
You
that's gonna be
support the-
left.
You support the trustees of reservations, the land trust.
We do,
Yep.
we do.
Michael?
you.
Thank you.
All right. So the rain gardens in the front here, they're going to be the only, I guess the best way to put it, in an area that's going to be, already is thickly settled with the trees. These rain gardens right here in the front, it looks like they're going to be the only opportunity for replanting any trees. Am I reading that correctly?
I don't think so. I didn't look closely. So we have this whole landscaping plan. It's on sheet 7, if you look at that. So one of the things that we're doing that's very positive is there's an existing drainage in Recovery Road in front of those other offices, and it just dumps out at a head wall onto this property. There's no easement that we could find. So that's basically rainfall with very little treatment that's going through the property. And so one of, that rain garden on the right, that basin, whatever you want to call it, is, so we're just catching that head wall runoff, putting it in there. We did the calculations to see that it fully infiltrates, and then we just have an overflow going out. But all the plantings are shown on that sheet 7, Michael.
Okay, and I totally understand, because I was down there today, and it is a very small property, maybe like a little over an acre perhaps, and it is very thickly settled with trees. There's no other possible ways we could put any other areas to actually do a replanting of the trees down there?
Well, again, I just think that 50-foot no activity zone is a good number. I think it's a conservative buffer. I don't know of any other town that has a 50-foot for a commercial property. I don't.
And I'm not saying replant every single tree lost, because that would be like impossible there, but any possible way to just replant some, if not any, just
Well,
out of curiosity.
I don't know. I mean, most people, I get what you're saying. I don't know if someone could go in there and cherry pick out and take them to a nursery, and I see this as, I don't know when the last time it happened,
Sure.
But it was clear cut, and this stuff just all grew up. It's growing out into the road. It's under the power lines.
Because it had been clear cut, because the front of the property doesn't have a lot of old trees.
Right, no, they're all.
But the
you know,
big trees are back within the 50-foot.
Yep.
And those aren't going to go anywhere. They're going to stay there.
100%.
The
correct.
big tall pines.
Yes.
It's all the scrub. What do you think? Maybe 15 years? Maybe 20 at the most? Everything else had been clear cut, but you look at the height of them. They're fairly new in.
Yeah, they're all 25 footers,
Maybe,
maybe
yeah.
30
There are
footers.
stumps everywhere, too. You can
Yeah.
see that it's been
Yeah.
cleared before.
Yep.
And Paula Jean already just, my other issue about what's going in, so no more questions, Madam Chair.
Kwame,
Hey, Bob.
Well, I hope you're feeling better.
I'm always good. Thank you, though. So this is probably more of a question for zoning, but how many spaces do you have in this lot for parking?
So right now, we're slightly under what zoning calls for. And you know, I mean, it looks big because it's a
Plus minus
10
maybe
scale or
40?
20 scale, but my eyes are bad. I got total required spaces of 28, the first sheet.
Yeah.
26 required, 22 provided, so we need some relief from the planning board on that already. The office use is 1 per 250 square feet.
Yeah, this is probably another question for planning too, but maybe this will be a good idea for solar to be on top of those buildings, but that's just me.
Yeah.
Or on the lot, one of the two. But that might attribute to
I think
the collection.
I'm sure they are considering it on the roof, you know.
Yeah. So,
You can see all of that when you go online and those aerial mass maps.
yes, yep. But this is, like you said, it is zoned for industrial use, so it is what it is.
the drainage along the Recovery Road is really tried to capture the water that comes off the street,
So, yeah.
a runoff. But underneath, how are you going to treat the water coming off of the parking lot? It's going into a,
So we have the proprietary catch basins. There's one on either side, so that's those, you know, they create a vortex, and it's,
so it'll try to
Like
take the drippings that happen, the antifreeze and the oil and the gas on the pavement. and
right,
treat it before it's really,
well, they collect and capture both the sand
Yep.
and silt and some of
Yep.
the oil and any of the fluids. And then, you know, they're supposed to be pumped out once a year, twice a year, when the sediment hits a certain level,
Okay.
but
so that would be an attempt to try to make it for a better
it's
water flow.
Well, it's a requirement to pre-treat at least 44% of total suspended solids before we infiltrate into the good sands.
Okay.
Or if you're in a critical area.
I have nothing else. Christine, your comments?
So I did notice that the buildings are pretty close to that 50-foot no activity zone. Do you know how many feet they are between them?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
It looks like the buildings are pretty close to that 50-foot no activity zone. Do you know how wide that gap is?
I don't have a scale on me, but, you know, we've got a little bit of grading that's right up to that 50-foot line, but then you see the retaining wall. I mean, we might have 5 feet in some places, and then, you know, it's just, the line follows the wetland line, and so, you know, we're as tight as we can be to the street, and we have the retaining wall in the back so that we, you know, can keep everything. You know, I think what's going to happen is, you know, when they're constructing it, there might be a little bit of disturbance, but then there will be absolutely no disturbance beyond that wall. It'll effectively be more than a 50-foot no-touch once it's constructed, because nobody's going to go and mow behind the retaining wall.
So we could very well say no mowing, I mean, that 50-foot, and we could put some type of marker there to identify it as a 50-foot no-touch zone,
Yeah, that's
know,
what I was thinking.
marking, we have those signs, so we can put posts up that say no disturbance.
Yeah, that's why I was asking to see if there was enough
we're-
space to put something.
Agreeable to that. I mean, before any construction starts, we have to put in the erosion control at the limit of work. So that's the visual for the contractor to not go beyond that, but we don't have any objection to putting
Are
those
the erosion
markers.
controls on the map, on the plan?
Excuse me?
Are the erosion controls, they must be on the
I
plan
did see it. I
someplace.
wanted, Sandy, there was one little thing, it was under number 8, but there were several different sets of notes here, but it said contractor shall use double-staked hay bales, and that should be
Okay.
changed to straw bales.
It's
We don't
the-
want hay bales.
It's drawing 6 of 10.
So the erosion control plan, correct, yeah, 6 of 10 is the erosion control plan that
Okay,
has
course.
it all.
so we could change that to straw from hay bales, because hay bales can be full of invasive seeds.
Okay,
I think it was just,
so,
Of course, I didn't print number 6, but okay. Anything else? Anybody online or in the audience would like to speak to this project?
Wait, I still had a couple.
Oh, you got more?
Yeah.
Okay.
So how much of the buffer zone is going to be altered?
of the 100-foot buffer zone?
Yeah.
55%.
So you'd say the 100-foot buffer zone to the property line, right?
Yeah, would you happen to know like a square footage?
I don't, but I can easily find out that number and provide it to you. You know, it's a 40,000 square foot lot. You know, I don't know if that's 20,000 square feet of buffer zone, but I can more accurately provide it to you.
All right. And there's a drain at the back with like a stainless, well, it's a pipe. It's a PVC pipe at the back with a stainless steel screen over it. That's just going to be,
So that's just an overflow for the underground drainage system that's in the parking lot. So it is at the very top of the chamber system. On the riser, we come off of that with a pipe. So the chambers would have to be 100% totally full for that to overflow. And it goes out the back of the wall, and there's a little bit of stone there. So that would never be operating unless there was either a defective, the system was broken somehow, or we exceeded the 100-year storm, you know, or maybe 30 years from now if the infiltration rate, you know. I mean, again, they have to maintain the system, but it's not a discharge, it's just 100% overflow.
okay, I just wanted, and just one more question. With the grading, it's getting a little bit lower towards the wetlands. It's like 44 to 45 or so, where the wetlands are at like a 33 to 39 foot contour. Is there going to be any chance of any runoff passing down there?
So there'll be runoff from what we call the unmitigated portion of the project. So the sides of the property, you see the grading, and behind that wall. So it'll just be runoff from just pervious landscaped areas or the undisturbed area.
Okay. Thanks. Okay, that was all my questions.
You can have more on October.
Okay. And you want a continuance until October 1 or 15?
No, the second meeting in October. It'll be a
15th.
miracle if we're ready at that night, but then if we're not, we would just ask for one more. We just want to make sure that you're issuing an order of conditions on
We'll go to the 15th?
Yes, please, yep.
I do have a couple of questions before we
Oh,
continue.
okay.
So the test pit data is 9 years old?
Yes, yeah, that's how long we've been trying to develop this property.
But you're confident that 9 years
The
is...
soils have not changed in
Not
9
changed.
years.
Okay.
I'm confident.
Yeah, and so the point is that it's mostly sand, or from one of the pits, it was mostly sand. So anything that goes down in the ground is going to end up in the water table very quickly.
Well, not at this elevation right here, but I mean, that's what a sand filter is, right? So we're infiltrating, and that parent sand is nature's last filter. And so then when it hits the groundwater, whatever that elevation is, then it's going to flow with, you know, again, through the soil to
Into the
wherever the
wetlands,
groundwater
right.
is.
And then you also have, this is my last question, Madam Chair. You also have in the plan grass being planted between the buildings and the 50-foot no-activity zone. You heard the conversation.
Well, we're just saying loam and seed disturbed areas. We're not trying to plant a lawn behind the wall.
It's a Cape Cod lawn. It's a collection of
So-
weeds that you mow periodically.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, we just don't want nitrogen.
Yeah, no, it's always loam and seed disturbed areas. You know, for the commercial stuff, they don't want a lawn. They might have a little picnic area somewhere, but that's all that's intended.
Thank you.
Anything else from the commission? Then we need a motion to continue until 10:15.
So
Motion.
moved.
I have that motion.
Second.
I have second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstain. See you in 4 weeks
All right, thanks so much.
on this project. I'm sure see you up on something else.
Oh, yes.
Okay,
Keep going.
we are continuing. We have O'Neill at 23A Barn Street. I have a note for continue, it's supposed to continue until 9/17. Anybody here for that project? Kathleen Rose O'Neill, 23A Barn Street, anything? Oh, yeah, that's the one that has all, never mind. I'll take a motion to continue until 10:01.
Motion continued till October 1st, but we got the so moved.
Second.
I have a motion and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, abstain, it's that one on Swiss Beach that, okay, next one, Safe Harbor has requested a continuance until, oh, wait a minute, I saw my note,
19th.
December,
November.
that's another one,
December 19th, I wrote down earlier.
November 19th.
Oh, okay.
So I said Safe Harbor, November 19th?
Safe Harbor, November 19th. Burgess Point was the 2nd in
Okay.
December.
So move to continue Safe Harbor hearing until November 19th, 2025.
Second.
I have that motion, I heard a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, abstain. We're continued until November 19th, just before Turkey Day. The next hearing is Cabral, 29 Camp Street. It's my understanding they want to, I put the wrong one together. They want to withdraw the project. Have we got the documentation on that yet?
I haven't received the formal withdrawal letter just yet.
So I'll take a motion to continue, we're continued in 10-1 and we'll hold at that.
Okay.
Okay, one more. Let's see what's next. We have a 7 Burgess Point, wanted to continue until December 17th. That's Andrews.
Move to continue 7 Burgess Point Shores until December 17th.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, abstain, December 17th. We have the Town of Wareham, Minot Ave, and Narrows was continued until 10:15. Any activity on the bike path?
No, as far as I know, they are reworking the plans because they have submitted it to other agencies as well.
Okay,
Have we seen any preliminary plans from that?
yes.
Yeah, there's a plan uploaded. It's not going to be the final, though. But
Okay.
I haven't gotten any new plans for it.
Thank you.
It's pages, 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 pages.
Yeah, I have a big roll of them if you want to come take a look.
Okay, so I have 10:15 is continued already until 10:15. We have to take no more action on it. We have a Turner at 8 Johnson Street was continued until 9:17. How we stand for that one?
So there's no DEP number for this just yet, and we're still waiting for a Division of Fisheries and Wildlife determination.
Okay, we'll need a motion to continue until 10:01.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, abstain. The next application is River Hawk LLC, 19 Bay Point Drive.
Right.
Anybody here for that project? They didn't show up last time either.
No, I'm going to reach out to them.
Okay,
So motion to continue till October the 1st then?
I'll take a motion to continue until October 1st.
Second.
I have a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye,
Aye.
opposed, abstained, will continued. We now have Michael Portier, 49 Edgewater Drive. It was continued until today. Anybody here for that project? Okay, I know we had some site visits. Did we get a DEP?
I still don't have a DEP number for this one.
We have the natural heritage letter, but no DEP number,
Okay.
which I'm a little surprised by because projects
It's been a
after
while.
us do have numbers.
August 20th, yeah.
Yes, so I was able to meet Paula, Jean, and Scott at the site. We had a discussion, and they can correct me if my memory's wrong. I think where we landed as far as what to do, what to remove, what can remain. We talked about everything, well, let me start with what we talked about is remaining, is that existing natural stone wall around the sand seating area and the landscaping area landward of that, but the sand seating area, the concrete block wall, the fire pit, and the split rail fence will be removed. The sand will be spread, leveled, graded, topsoil, seeded, or sod. And the wood launch ramp will be removed. And the timber wall, it was felt that that's something that would have been approved to protect the eroding coastal bank, so that can remain. So that's my understanding of the discussion. Please correct me if I'm mistaken.
Was something going to be done to the right of the pier? That's to the right. Was something going to be done to the left of the pier? Because you mentioned it was erosion issue.
Yeah, there's some erosion going on there. We're not
You're not going-
proposing any work here. We're just trying to
All right.
rectify unpermitted activities, and that can be left to the new owner.
And the brick wall, the fire pit, the rail fence, and the sand, all made natural. Can we add no more pulling of vegetation along the water? Because it looked like it had been pulled in order to keep vegetation away from the dock.
Well, what we talked, you mean in the water?
No, by the edge of the water, on the beach. It is stripped of all vegetation close to the dock.
Yeah, I talked to Mike. He said he hasn't done any raking of the grass there. He
Just
picks up
happened.
branches that fall from the tree onto the beach, but he says he hasn't done any raking of anything then. But that reminds me, what we did talk about was taking out the hostas and putting some coastal-friendly plantings there, because the hostas are being eaten by the deer, and the deer on the bank are kind of keeping the vegetation down.
Yeah, and contributing to the erosion issues as well, I'm sure.
Correct.
Yeah.
Sure.
Right, so we got rid of the hostas, we get rid of the deer.
Until we reintroduce gray wolves to the area, we're going to have a deer problem.
It's beyond me.
What about the daylilies up by the, just by the fire pit?
They like those.
On the landward side of the
Daylilies?
stone wall?
Or the irises? It's up by the stone wall that's coming down. Are they daylilies? Yeah, maybe they're irises. But there's hosta in there too. That will stay, that vegetation will stay there?
Well, we talked about keeping the natural stone wall, not the block
Yes,
wall.
I know that, but I'm talking the brick wall.
The brick wall. The block wall at the sand
The block-
seating area?
Yeah, that's the block wall that's holding up the sand.
Yeah, that's coming out, the sand will
But the
be,
vegetation up there is staying. Nothing was said about it. Okay.
well, the sand will be spread, leveled, and stabilized.
Well, we are going to have to continue because there's no DEP, but I'm going to ask us any questions. Jessica?
No questions.
Scott?
Yeah, so I think just to make sure we're all on the same page here, so the boat launch will be removed and a fine for $300 because that would not have been approved. The retaining wall with the sand area will be removed with a $300 fine because that would not have been approved. The split rail fence will be removed with a $300 fine because that would not have been approved. And the fire pit will be removed with a $300 fine because that would not have been approved.
What was the second one?
There's a small retaining wall with the
Thank you.
sand seating area.
Block wall.
Block wall. As opposed to the natural stone wall and the wooden wall down below, we feel that, or I feel, maybe Paula Jean feels the same way, that removing those would create more damage to the area than it would benefit the area. So those should stay. So don't remove those unless you want to get another fine. That was my summary of the meeting.
Thank you. Paula Jean?
Yes, I agree.
Any questions, Michael?
No questions, Madam Chair.
Tommy?
None.
Then we are waiting for a DEP file number.
Okay, I could get a revised plan.
Okay, yes, please.
We'll hopefully get the file number. And 10-1, is that?
Yep, so folks, I need a
Motion to continue till October the 1st?
I have that
Second.
motion.
Second.
I heard a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstained. We're continued until 10:01.
Thank you.
Thank you.
The next continued hearing was Alexander Lyon at 15 Cleveland Way.
Hello.
Hello.
Alex Lyon, 15 Cleveland Way. I'm representing Mrs. LaCoy, the owner of the property. And Mrs. LaCoy, she's proposing to rehab some decrepit retaining walls and steps and walkways. You guys are probably familiar with the area. It's like an old military housing area, and a lot of stuff that was done there was just sort of haphazard, and there's no overall plan that was done with the construction. And after all these years, it's just starting to fall apart. And we're proposing to replace those items on the property with newer, like new stone walls, retaining walls that are up to, building code standards. The stair risers are not correct. They're all haphazard.
Yeah.
Walkways
Alex,
crumbling.
the plan has the 100-foot. I don't see the 30-foot no-touch zone on the
The red-
plan.
I got the 50 on there. The red one, the red line.
I don't have a red line. It's not an industrial, so it'll be a 30-foot no activity zone.
Yes, I'm sorry, you don't have the red line on your plan?
Did
I
anybody
did
get
a
a red line?
revised, I submitted a revised plan.
No, you got the blue one too.
Yeah, the red's down here.
The red's way down low.
Okay. I see the red line. It's to the
Dotted
right,
line.
through the trees, the bushes there, yeah.
Currently, right now, there is a retaining wall, it's a block and mortar retaining wall there, right next to the 5-foot beach access path.
Tell us what you want to do, specific.
What we want to do is want to replace it with a Versalock wall. So this wall, just a little bit more explanation. The low side, the southerly portion of that wall is like 4 feet high, and that height vanishes into nothing on the north side of the property. We're going to replace that wall, that old crumbling block wall, with a Versalock wall. Up to grade on the owner's lawn side, and then we're going to continue with a fieldstone sitting wall on top of that block retaining wall.
And then the Versalock block wall will continue, replacing the old block wall all the way up to the driveway on the westerly side of the property. Any pavement that we're proposing to replace was going to be permeable pavers, Unilock or Teco block product. Now, there are downspouts on the property, on the corners of the building. I don't know where they go. I could do some I'm only in the proposal portion of the plan right now, so I could do some investigating. If you wanted to possibly put those downspouts into a Coltech groundwater recharger, we could do that.
There's no downspout. That's all old stuff, like there's no downspout anywhere.
Oh, you don't have to, I did not take your name when you came up. Can you identify yourself, please?
Lon LaCoy, owner of the property.
Okay, thank you. And when you speak, you're going to have to get up to the microphone because you're so soft-spoken.
Thank you. I will.
Okay, continue.
So, walking up to the west side of the property, there is another sort of like crumbling cinder block set of steps over here. We're going to propose taking those steps out and replacing with full granite treads. And in so doing, I need a retaining wall against the foundation on both sides, which will be fieldstone. And then there's a wooden retaining wall just east of the driveway that I'm going to take out and replace that with fieldstone. And then the steps leading up to the driveway would also be granite. And then as that wall returns around to the side of the property, there's going to be, we're going to allow for a ramp to maybe get a lawnmower or a canoe or a kayak or something down that side of the property over there. So I don't want to isolate that side of the property with a retaining wall. So they'll still have some way to get a ladder, a wheelbarrow, a lawnmower, something down to that side yard. And then as we continue down that side yard, the only thing I'm going to ask for consideration for the board would be, currently there's like a 10 by 15 patio currently there. And I was looking to expand that to a 15 by 20. And I can either do it setting big stone pavers in the lawn, which isn't optimal, only because she'd have to be moving her patio furniture to mow the grass in that area. So preferably, we'd rather continue on with the permeable pavers for that patio. At the close of the project, any disturbed areas we're going to be replanted with bayberry, some screening on the north property line, and decorative hydrangea on the corner. And then to the east towards the beach area, any area that was disturbed would be replanted with beach grass. And then hydroseed on the way out.
All right. Jessica, questions?
Can we come back to me?
Scott?
I see on the plan no beach access. I see a retaining wall. So right now, this retaining wall that goes up is, by the time this retaining wall goes from that 4-foot elevation on the east side, again, this wall is like returning almost into grade, and there will be an ability for her to step down from that retaining wall onto the beach access. Okay. I could add another step there. It's like, it's an in-between step is what it basically is. I see, yeah. I just wanted to make sure that we're clear on whether there will be beach access or not. 'cause
We
it didn't seem provision.
discussed that, the possibility of adding a step there, and we haven't really nailed it down yet.
Okay. And under this, under the patio, you're going to use permeable pavers for that, but what underlies that? Is that stone
So
dust?
basically,
the old way of doing a patio would have been, processed gravel, compacted several times, and then stone dust. The problem with it is it doesn't allow for water to fall through the
Exactly.
patio. So the preferred method with these permeable pavers is a nice big thick bed of 3/4 inch stone compacted, and then a final grade of 3/8 chip stone to set the final grade. Then we lay the pavers, and then we put a permeable sand in between the joints. I call it rice stone because it's about the size of a grain of rice, which really allows for that water to go right through the patio. And like I said, any paving areas that we're proposing changing from concrete is going to be going to permeable pavers. Thank you.
Paula Jean.
I don't think I have any questions, but I applaud the permeable pavers and the non-stone
It's nice.
dust.
I've used them. They're really good
great.
pavers.
And the
Teco
stone
Block
dust.
or Unilock, they're both great products.
Good, because you know the stone dust, how it compacts, it may as well be
And
concrete.
it retains moisture.
Yeah.
It's lousy.
So good. Thank you.
Michael.
What kind of erosion control measures are we going to use, like, on this project? For example, like the patio, for example, or anywhere else on the project?
I'm sorry, I didn't get the first part of the question.
What kind of erosion control measures are we going to be using?
So right now, we've got the wattles circling the whole area. There's another, on the north side of the property, there is like already a wooden retaining wall on that side. So anything south of that property line is going to be perimeter with a 8-inch wattle spiked into the ground.
All right, thank you.
Kwame.
No questions, thank you.
Jessica.
No questions.
I have to admit, I have never seen such a huge hibiscus. It's the size of a plate.
It's been around for a while.
It
I
is
think.
absolutely beautiful. I took a picture of it. It was just
We're not
breathtaking.
trying to preserve it somehow.
Yes, I hope you can preserve it somehow.
Yeah.
Um,
Other plants.
I can get a replacement for it if something happens. I know those are good, the big flower like this, the one you're talking
Yeah.
about.
The big one,
Isn't
you're
that
right
amazing?
away,
That
yeah.
pink hibiscus, it was just, Christine, any comments?
No, Josh and I actually met Alex out at the property early on to discuss this, and I feel like you've addressed quite a bit of things that the commission would normally be concerned about, so I'm feeling good about it.
Anybody online or in the audience to speak to this project? Any other comments on the commission?
Motion to close the hearing?
I have a
Second.
motion to close the hearing and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, opposed, abstained. Christine, your recommendation.
Standard order of conditions. Standard order of conditions.
So moved.
I have standard order of conditions. I have a
Second.
motion. I have a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, abstained. It's done. See Christine for your final paperwork on it, and you're good to go. Yay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And we expect to be invited to the party. It's all opened up.
Okay, the next one I have is, I'm not going to try to pronounce it, 9 Nimrod Way. Anybody? John?
Yes, I have somebody who's raised their hand on the line.
Okay. And David, you timed that you timed that very well.
I was out in the hallway.
Oh, and here I thought I saved you hours of listening to us. All right, identify yourself, please.
For the record, I'm Dave DeVigna from Schneider DeVigna Leone, representing the property owners.
Okay, John, who's online? Let him in, please. Okay. All right, David, talk to us.
So
Why was this continued?
it was continued for various reasons, which I can get into, Madam Chair.
Well, that's all right. I'm sure there's a reason in my notes someplace, but, oh, I know which house this is.
You
Okay.
guys had the overlay for this one.
We wanted an overlay to see how it was within the 30-foot.
Yeah.
Did we get one?
Yes. It should have been uploaded online as well.
If
All right.
If anybody's short, I can give you.
Yeah, no, it's up on the application.
Of course, I didn't go to get the new one. You can just share with Paula.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So what'd you find?
Yeah, I'll take one, sir, if you don't mind. Thank you.
First off, I'd like to make a few statements as to plan changes that some we discussed, some we didn't. So the site plan revised now has the 30-foot setback line shown on the plan. There was a patio proposed below the deck on ground level, which we've eliminated. That area will now simply be crushed stone under the deck. They've also added a landscape planting bed on the southwest corner of the property, which would be adjacent to the seawall and then sort of running up the property line on the west side. The existing fence also is proposed now.
Look at the plan, I don't see, where's north, south, east, west? Give me a hint, I don't see a directional.
Well, if you look at the water is south.
Okay, thank you, that's it, water south, okay.
So a planting bed was added into that corner, which will replace some lawn area. And we've added a vinyl fence between the planting area and the house just to close out that corner of the property. Also, the design of the foundation will now be an open concrete column foundation with breakaway panels. And that resulted in the first floor, we're designing for the limb wall line, so it's now going to be a V-zone design, so the first floor will be at 1.6 feet higher. And in order to do that, we had to add some more stairs, so the staircase towards Nimrod Way is now L-shaped instead of just straight. And that brings us to the overlay that was requested. So the diagram that we provided not only the overlay in color, we gave the numbers for pre and post, if you will, what's existing and what's proposed. So the blue represents the existing single-family house footprint, as well as the deck. And the red represents the proposed house, and if you can clearly see the house will be constructed further back than where it exists today, and the deck slightly back from where it exists today. We quantified the area from the 30-foot line towards the water. The existing house has approximately 128 square feet within that 30-foot line. The existing deck has approximately 260 square feet. The proposed deck is very close. It was 264 square feet, 4 square feet from an even swap. But more importantly, the proposed house, when you look at the deck and the house within the 30-foot setback, it's 388 square feet currently, and we're proposing 283 square feet, which is a 27% reduction from current conditions. If you look at within the footprint of the house, it shows you the existing, the proposed house that's within the 30-foot is literally 19 square feet. It's not much, just a triangular area. And so it's primarily the deck that ends up within the 30-foot. So it is a significant, I would consider a significant improvement, particularly if you factor in the house will be elevated now on concrete columns, which should allow water to flow through versus what exists today. So if there are any questions, I'd be happy to answer them.
Kwame,
With the new proposed deck, I'm sorry, underneath will be crushed stone, you said?
That's correct.
And there's no stairs going down on that side, the south side, only on the, I guess, the...
Correct. In order to get from the deck down to the lawn area, they'll have to go down the new walkway along the east side of the house.
Side?
And then actually go to the front porch and come back down. Or they can use, we do have a spiral staircase.
I see
For
that.
that quick and dirty access.
Yep, that's all questions I have. Thank you.
Michael?
No questions, Madam Chair. I was about to ask about that proposed staircase, but he already addressed it. Thank you.
Paula Jean?
No questions, thank you.
Scott?
I have no questions. This is a much better plan. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Jessica?
No questions.
I'm going to ask Christina if she has any comments on the new design.
On the new design?
Yeah, we're at Nimrod Way.
So I had somewhat of a possibly illogical query, I suppose. What is the dimensions of the house?
The dimensions of the house. I didn't bring a scale with me. See if I can find. So the house is 21 feet in depth on the north side, which would be parallel to Barnacle. Essentially, that is the depth throughout, with the exception of the porch, the front porch where that cutout is within the footprint. So it's a rectangle 21 by 50, with the exception of that porch being cut out.
Right.
How many feet off the ground is this going to be?
The, see, so,
You say you need to make it 1.6 feet higher.
yes, so the slab's 9.8, which is more or less the ground level where the slab will go in, and the bottom of the beam will be at 19.1. So if I did my numbers, that's about a 9.3 feet from bottom of beam to slab.
And what will be going around the, what do you call them, post?
There will be breakaway panels,
They will be breakaway.
yes. They're going to design it based on a V-zone foundation, even though they're in an A-zone, because they're in the Lemois line.
And they're close.
Yes.
So the garage will be under the house?
Yes.
Will there be, what will be stored under the house?
I wouldn't.
Whatever it would be, so if the panels break away, anything that's stored on the house will find its way into the water, correct?
That's correct, yes.
There's no shed or anything like that to store lawnmowers or anything like that?
No, currently there is a shed, but
coming.
that's coming off the property.
But it will be breakaway panels.
Yes.
Okay. Christine, anything else you had?
You said you had was a proposed little landscaping planting area I saw. Do you know which plants are going to be in there?
They didn't divulge what will be there, but it'd be something native,
Okay.
conducive to salt, air.
Yes, something I was wondering, since I remember the last meeting, there was a lot of talk about the deck being in that 30-foot no activity zone. Did you guys reach a consensus on that, or?
There were no additional questions on the new plan.
Okay, because I was wondering, because part of the reason that that deck is expanded a little bit more is because of the egress, which something I was wondering is, it looks like the egress walkway is maybe like 3.4 feet.
It's 4 feet. There's a dimension on the north end of it, so it's a 4-foot walkway.
Okay. Yeah, I feel like the only way that you'd be able to keep that in its existing footprint right now is to make the house itself a little smaller. But
I think they've done an unbelievable job to try to move it along based on our concerns at the last meeting.
yeah,
But as I said, there were no any additional questions on the plan, so any other comments on the board? Commission? I'm sure there's nobody left online. Anybody got that raised hand? Okay. So,
This would be, move to close the hearing.
okay, I have a motion. Second. And a second, the hearing's closed. All right, Christine, your recommendation?
So did we vote on the closing of the hearing?
Yes, I thought we did.
We got a second, we didn't vote on it.
We didn't
though.
vote.
Oh, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstained. Thank you for keeping me honest. Yes? Bob? Oh. All right, I'll take a motion to unclose the hearing.
So moved, unclosed.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed. And and who's Bob and what's his name?
Oh, I apologize. I'm here for the Bay Point hearing and I had my hand raised. I just wanted to present. I have nothing to do with this hearing, so
Oh,
I'm sorry.
Move to close the hearing.
we
Second.
move to close the hearing.
Closed, second, yeah.
Aye, second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, abstained. The Bay Point hearing,
8
It was continued, so
oh, okay, so, all right. Yes, it was continued. So we have a closed hearing. And Christine, your recommendation?
standard order of conditions. Would you be amenable to having monitoring for the landscaping garden?
Can you give Christine the list of the plants?
We can do that, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And a list of plants. Okay?
Move that we approve the project with standard order of conditions and amended to include a list of plants to be given to the conservation agent before any work is begun on the project.
That'd be the motion. I heard a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, abstains. You're done.
Thank you.
You
Have
got
a good night.
paperwork to get to Christine, and good night. Oh, we closed another one. Okay, Christine, I think it's up to you for a compliance request.
Madam Chair,
Yes.
Bay Point.
I'm the one who had my hand raised. I was trying to be recognized when you called the Bay Point hearing. It's under Riverhawk Environmental. It's continued.
Oh, we closed.
What?
All right. Wait a minute. Riverhawk. All right.
Yeah, you guys continued it
We
to,
continued it until 10:01.
All right, no opportunity to since you already did that, it's continued, right?
Yeah, we'll
I was
continue.
trying to get recognized, but wasn't
Because
able
it's
to.
continued, we don't take any testimony on it.
Understood.
Okay,
Okay,
thank you. Try next meeting.
Okay, thank you.
All right, Christine, your certification of compliance.
so for 3036 Cranberry Highway, recommend issuance of a certificate of compliance.
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, abstained? Next, please.
For 1 Wild Rose Avenue, I'd recommend an issuance of a certificate of compliance.
So moved.
I have that motion
Second.
and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, abstained? Continue, please.
For 35 Pine Tree Drive, recommend an issuance of a certificate of compliance.
So moved.
I have that motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, abstain. We have continued reinforcements. Can you make sure you put in 16 Widows Cove?
14?
Yeah,
Yes, on the next agenda.
okay.
So for the enforcements, for 1 Reynolds Ave, there's been no change. For 16 Widows Cove Lane, there's been no change. And for the Hamilton Beach Association, they filed a notice of intent.
All right, but nothing of the owner of the property?
No, it's the same
Oh,
as
that's
the
the
last
one
I told
Reynolds
you.
Ave.
Yeah.
Never mind, I got it.
Which he's back on the 19th.
Okay. Next, we have a report of you, Conservation Agent. Your report, please.
I have nothing new to report.
All right.
I have a question for the agent.
Yeah.
So I reported a violation last meeting on 15 Oak.
Mm-hmm.
Did you have a chance to look at that?
I haven't had a chance to look at 15 Oak. I actually have probably at least 4 violations to write up orders for.
Okay, thank you.
And they'll keep growing.
Yeah, I'm gonna work on them tomorrow.
Okay. What's the status of a contract to do our minutes?
As far as I know, they're waiting for her to get paid. And they're trying to figure that out. And once she is, then she'll start doing the minutes again. But I think she was working on them a little bit. That's something that I had heard from Josh.
So it's work in progress.
It's kind of a
Trying to
work in progress. It's getting there.
Trying to pay for what she's already done.
Yes.
Okay, one of the things we talked about are fine discussions. It is, what time is it now?
8 o'clock.
It's 8 o'clock. And at the last meeting, I passed out fines that we created in 2020. So I don't know whether or not you want to deal it now or hold off to another meeting that's not as long running as this.
Yeah, I think we should do that in a workshop. No, you don't.
Does it have to be in a meeting? Or, well,
Well,
we are already
I
here.
find
so-
it's awful hard to get a workshop.
Yeah, okay.
Yes, and we also have the rules and regulations pending.
Yeah, the rules and regulations haven't been done, so that's another workshop that we don't seem to get scheduled.
Can we do that before our meeting? How long would it take? Like 15, 20 minutes? to
No,
go
it
through
could
some?
very well go, the regulations a long time,
Oh,
but
okay. But how
With
about
the regulations, I'll try to work with Josh's schedule to see if I can find a time that works for everybody.
okay. And then if we're doing the regulations, we can tack on the fines, because it's been 4 years and it's time for a review.
Yeah.
Because I like the idea of a fine for each violation as opposed to the total project.
And the rules and regulations are actually really close to being finished. It's just a matter of
Right,
everybody
the grant.
reviewing them and,
I don't remember anything anymore, though.
well, to start over, well, you get fresh eyes.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, Josh is gonna have to go through all of it still.
And we're up against town meeting, so we're all quite busy with that component. Is there anything else on the agenda that anybody wants to talk about before we say goodnight? Jessica? Scott?
No, thank you.
Paula Jean?
No, thank you.
Michael?
None here.
Comment? Christine,
thank you.
anything?
No.
It's 8:02. Someone wants to take a...
Move to adjourn at 8:02.
Second.
Sit down.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstained. We have some paperwork to sign. Thank you very much, folks.
Thank you.